Mayu has a question here. Presented with a surplus of burlap bags, what interesting and novel uses of the bags or the material would you suggest? I'm considering using them under mulch around my fruit trees, and of course they can be used as bags, but what else? Well, that's a great use for them as mulch. They're fantastic mulch. You can also cover the tops of your worm farms with them as the light exclusion cover that holds moisture, and the worms really like them. And you know, you can use them for fish bags if you go fishing, for bringing your fish home. They're good for eels, which are slimy. Good to handle the eel with and then put in when you've caught an eel, if you do that sort of thing. But here's an interesting use. I'm right down in a bottom gully here at Zaytuna Farm. It's one of our larger valleys, all treed, but it gets very large flows of water through here and even backs up off the creek at the bottom when there's very large floods. But there are big scouring flows of water that come through when sometimes we get storms at the end of the dry season, and we call these gully rakers because they'll rake out the gully and cause a lot of erosion. Now this is a crossing point. Above me here is a cattle laneway, which is also used for tractor and four-wheel drive access, and it was always too wet a lot of the time, too boggy to get through. So we wanted to make a crossing, and we didn't have a lot of money, and we didn't want to put too much resources into it, but it needed to work. We've got 3 pipes there that'll hold most flows, but then just in case there's a big flow coming over, we'd have to put a head wall on here. A concrete head wall that size could cost quite a few $1,000s for either side of the pipe. And we can show you one of those because we put one on our new roadwork tracks and share property access roadways. But here we're out on the farm. So what we did was we got a lot of burlap bags, and we made a mix with sand, just cheap sand, river sand that we had on the property, but any sand, and we mixed 10% cement, which is not a lot of cement. So we got pretty cheap access to burlap bags, we've got cheap access to sand and 10% cement in the mix, just dry, and we filled our bags and we made a burlap bag, sand, 10% cement head wall all the way around here and on the other side, just to control it. And the ground moisture set it off to be reasonably hard, and the vegetation, the moss, the leaves, the roots have done everything else. So you can see the burlap bags there, see the shape of them. They've been in a few years now. They stood one of our largest floods with Cyclone Debbie, giving us 480 millimeters of rainfall in 24 hours. So we think we've stabilized it, and it's a great novel use of burlap bags. Stability around some of your farm works or agricultural civil engineering works.